Hey guys, welcome to Worlds Collide. We're back! And we're doing our Wonder Woman spoiler review, so remember spoilers. We're gonna let you guys know what we think of it. So far...
Screw these non-spoiler reviews. Just watch the spoilers reviews. If you haven't seen it, then you're doing yourself a disservice.
I just want to start out by saying, I thought it was really, really good. I thought it was, amazing. For the most part, I was irritated more with fans.
Yeah, you saw it differently than I did. We didn't go to the same showing, so you saw it differently than I did. My theater sucked this time. Normally I get those good crowds. My theater was, at least the audience wise, the movie experience was great, but the crowd was crappy. I was the only one cheering.
Well, my crowd kind of cheered, but I watched it with my comic book store, and it was cool. It was 4-Color Fantasies, shout out to them. They do really cool things, and they do giveaways, raffles and stuff, and it was cool. Honestly, I don't think I like comic book nerds, overcritical. I don't know. I'm a comic book nerd myself, but I'm a different breed. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, let's just start out. I'm going to start out by saying that new DC intro, did you see it?
Boom. Dude, as soon as I saw it, I immediately was like, I text you. I was like, that intro, dude. I text you.
Oh, I thought you meant the intro the movie.
I was trying to text quick because I didn't want to miss any of the film, but I was like, dude, that DC intro. Dude, step in the right direction.
Okay, looks like I wrote down the right thing.
Yeah, that is a step in the right direction for DC. Boom. You take a page out of the Marvel book. I ain't mad. No one else gonna be mad. Represent yourself. Be proud of who you are. You're DC, man. That's awesome.
The two things, I'm going to start off with the two things I thought were negative about it, but I won't touch too much on. I'm just going to say is I thought the intro was kind of cheesy with the little girl. Very cheesy. And to me, that was as cheesy as, DC has gotten. And people fucking ate that shit up. And I'm like, what the fuck? This is so ass backwards.
I ate it up. Because it's tonally a totally different film than the Snyderverse. Even though it's all in the same, it's tonally a totally different film.
I just thought it was cheesy. The little girl's like, I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Young Diana,
I know.
bro. She's doing her thing.
And then the other thing is, I won't touch too much on this towards the end, but I thought the climax was kind of a little disappointing.
Dude, okay, it totally suffered from Marvel villain syndrome.
Yeah.
It was directly like a Marvel villain. We didn't get enough time with Ares. They tried to do it in the beginning by giving the backstory. And then when you finally, the reveal, wasn't really a reveal, you can kind of pick it out pretty quickly who Ares was.
See, since we're on it, I'm just going to talk about it real quick, because it's on my list, is that the German general, who you thought was Ares at first, the only reason why I thought that was because he would snort that shit, and he would be like, and be on cocaine out. So I honestly thought he was Ares.
Oh, no, I didn't.
But my thing is, they didn't offer an explanation other than the little serum she had, because his powers seem almost metahuman. The vial she made was almost metahuman.
Yeah.
So to me,
what did she describe it as? Just as something to regain your strength.
Yeah, to regain your strength. So to me, I thought maybe if he wasn't Ares, he was a henchman of Ares, but they never really downplayed it. They just said the god would come and whisper things, divine intervention.
So
and shit.
Exactly, and the reason I knew it wasn't him is because as soon as we met, I can't even pronounce his name, David Thewlis, or the dude from Harry Potter. Right? As soon as I'm like, that's a huge actor to have such a minor role. For me, I knew that. I'm like, that's too big of an actor to be in such a minor role that dude is going to be doing more. And, it turned out to be the case.
Yeah, I just kind of figured he was just there, they needed a couple big actors. I don't know. That was just
But it definitely suffered from that Marvel villain syndrome. You didn't have time to develop the character. You really kind of... But I'm not mad at it. I enjoyed the film tremendously. And so there's nothing wrong with that.
And here's the thing, for all you haters out there that hate on Zack Snyder, say, Zack Snyder shouldn't touch another film. Hey, by the way, he touched this film. I don't know if you guys know that.
He was all over this
He was actually part of the story. I don't know if whoever watched it, but at the end it said that Zack Snyder was a part of the story, so fuck you guys. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but there was a couple shots in there that were fucking amazing that were Zack Snyder-esque. That's what I wrote down, Zack Snyder-esque. There's the shot where she comes out of the trench, and it's she blocks the bullet.
So since we're going to talk about the No Man's Land sequence, which, so for me, loved the movie. I loved the movie. For me, one of the problems I thought that it had is that it took a long time. Literally, I felt like I was on the brink of, when am I going to fucking see her in her costume kicking ass? And I'm mad at it, and I'm not, because the movie did such a great job of taking you as the viewer and putting them in Diana's shoes.
Yeah.
Watching this world for the first time, discovering how like war is really affecting everybody. It was almost like we all know it because we know history, or if you've played any video games pertaining to Battlefield 1 or watched any of the anything that on it, it's like you know how it. So it was like you being on that journey with her. And then when it finally got to her finally be like, look, I can't stand around anymore. I need to help people. But when that reveal happened and No Man's Land started,
that was awesome.
Oh my gosh, dude. Everything from then to that clock tower with the sniper.
Yeah.
I was losing my shit. It was so awesome.
I agree.
So awesome.
And but like what I was touching on was like, did you notice those Zack Snyder-esque shots?
Oh, absolutely.
Where everything was all like black and it was just her.
Absolutely.
Or the scene at the end where she's floating in the sky or the fire.
Absolutely.
So to me that was like a Zack Snyder-esque shot.
Kind of leaving some of those tones that he's created.
Yeah, so I love that honestly. Like those shots were beautifully done. Her costume was a lot more brightened, which to me, like, I don't mind muted tones and I don't mind colorful tones. I prefer more muted, but it doesn't really matter to me. So, I mean, I thought it was beautifully shot.
It looked great, and I love the fact that it ended up as a period piece, ending up in World War I. I think it was great because, especially with obviously this takes place after Batman versus Superman present day times.
Yeah.
So having them go back and explain that backstory of who she is and why during this time she showed up was perfect.
Let me ask you this. Captain America or Wonder Woman?
Oh, Wonder Woman, by far. By far. I mean, this movie, and I was actually thinking about that on the way over here, like, because they are almost the same thing.
Yeah.
But Wonder Woman, by far.
I think
I think Wonder Woman was much more inspiring.
It was.
Everything about, you look at all the pieces, and we'll go into it now, but, like, Gal Gadot's performance, or Gadot, or however it's pronounced. Gal Gadot. Her performance, she's not the greatest actress. I mean, you can...
She's not.
But she nailed it with her look, her, like, at times the facial, like, I mean, the scene when she goes back to the village and it's just the music and her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, it was perfect, dude. She nailed it.
She did.
In that sense. And then having such a strong supporting cast around her, I think only elevated her even more.
Well, that was the next thing on my list, was that she brought a sense of hope and inspiration and innocence. Like, innocence was the biggest thing I could describe it. Like,
right.
And I thought that was awesome because she was so naive and so, like, she wasn't aware of what was going on in the real world.
And us as the viewer going on that journey with her, like, up until, like, No Man's Land, when she's like, I've had enough of watching around, standing here watching and not doing anything.
Exactly.
Like, and a lot of the scenes, and you'll see it, like, she doesn't talk because at some points, one point females were just, they're thrown to the side. Who are they? They're nobody. They don't know what to do. Why are they in the kitchen? Come on now. But, like, she had this face, and her facial expressions really said a lot in certain scenes.
Yeah.
So, like, I think she absolutely nailed it.
And that was my thing, was like with this movie, and I'm sorry to say, but I feel like the only reason why, like, look at Ghostbusters, for instance. It's like stands like at a 70% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
And to me, like, that movie wasn't horrible, but
it's not bad. It's not bad.
But when I look back at it, it's like, I feel like these movies, I'm sorry, people are gonna murder me for this, but I feel like it's like political correctness, and that's what critics do, is like, oh, it's a female director with a female lead star, we're gonna fucking give it good reviews. Like, I don't know, that's just me personally, because Ghostbusters was not in any way better than Man of Steel or BVS.
I wouldn't say no.
And those movies sit on a lower totem, but I know critics have a different criteria. Like, they want humor and they want, I don't know. That's just me, but this movie was worth the score it got.
So absolutely, so far. I mean, I'm gonna see it again. I need to.
Yeah.
It's definitely a movie I want to see again. So another problem that I think this movie suffered from, and I don't know, is like you can tell where they put the bulk of their budget into, because some of the scenes, like with Steve Trevor and the CG and the plane, I was like, wow, dude, like that looks really, or some of the shots during the action sequences, like you're like, wow, like you can tell where they mostly put their budget into. And that kind of sucks. Like, it's really standout-ish in like how with how well technology plays into the movies today. You can tell that it's suffered in some departments with the CG.
Yeah.
Like that scene when Steve's first telling about how he stole the book, and he gets into the plane, and he's like, I'm like,
and it looks off.
I'm like, this does not look good. This does not look good. This is not CG standards. Like, come on, this is 2017.
But then it goes to Wonder Woman, it looks better.
Right, and I'm just like, you can tell where money. They're like, well, it's just Steve Trevor in a plane.
Well, I feel like that's also in part because Patty Jenkins was in charge, and like towards Zack Snyder films, he does his own thing. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for those of you who think Zack Snyder has bad fucking CG, I don't think so. I think it's amazing.
Speaking of Steve Trevor, what do you think of Chris Pratt?
I honestly thought he stole the show.
Or not Chris Pratt, Chris Pine.
Chris
sorry.
Pine.
This ain't no Star-Lord film.
I honestly thought he stole the show. Like, he was a good... Him and Eda, I thought were, like, good supporting cast, especially Steve Trevor. Like, he was surprisingly the comedic part of the film. And to me, he, you know, like, towards the very end, I felt bad. Like, if you guys don't know what happened to him, he dies.
This is spoilers, man.
Yeah, I know, he dies. But... I felt bad. I was like, "Oh shit, he just died," and I was like,
"He knew it was coming."
Yeah, and like in the current comic book continuity, Steve Trevor is alive in modern day, and this is past. So, I mean, to me, it's like that was their way of getting rid of him, which kind of sucks because he was a really good character. But at the same time, like, yeah, I get it. Like, how are they gonna explain Steve Trevor in modern day?
Yeah, this goes back to my point with just like that strong supporting cast. I mean, Chris Pine. I mean, he's. In everything I've seen him in, and the one movie I still haven't seen him in that everyone talks about like crazy is Hell or High Water, and that he gives a crazy good performance. But like, I mean, I loved him in the Star Trek films. I thought he was a great Captain Kirk, and even the smaller films that aren't big budget ones, like he's a great actor, and he brought what he needed to this film.
Yeah.
What did you think of Themyscira?
I thought it was beautifully shot. Like,
looked gorgeous.
To me, it felt like it was in the cartoons or comics. Maybe not as, you know, close to it, but like it just, like, looking at it, I'm like, okay, that's, you know.
It looked gorgeous.
And they had a cool thing with the little force field. And
yeah,
so, right. To me, that was cool. And then the whole explanation of the gods, I thought was really cool.
Yeah. All of that was really good. No end credit scene. Are you mad about that?
No, it's a DC film.
You know what? It didn't need it.
Yeah, and
because if you look at, like, say, Suicide Squad end credit scene progressed the story forward.
Yeah.
This one, it would have done what? I mean, like, the way it ended.
Like, this is what I told somebody is when the movie starts, it's in current day. When the movie ends, it's in current day. She's, you know, writing to Bruce Wayne. So to me, that's enough for me. I don't need something to lead me to what's next. What's next is Justice League.
We know. We all
already
know
fucking
coming.
know that. So.
And even then, it was like that end credit scene of Suicide Squad.
It worked.
Was your end credit scene to Justice League?
Yeah.
So it did need it. So I was fine with that. In your opinion, is this the best DCEU film?
Oh, here we go. I don't think, like, for me personally, I don't think it was, like, to me, the one that lacks is Suicide Squad. That's my least favorite. I still like Suicide Squad, my least favorite. And then it's probably Wonder Woman. So, yeah, to me, I don't find it the best. I think it's Wonder Woman, BVS, then Man of Steel. I actually, like, changed my opinions, like, not changed my opinions so much, like, on Suicide Squad as I sat on it and watched it more and more, it went down, which I still don't think it's bad. I just think that it could have been better.
Yeah.
And then BVS, me and you talk about it all the time. I thought BVS was the best at first, and then I go back and look at Man of Steel, and I don't know, they're like toe-to-toe with me. So I'm just going to go Man of Steel, BVS, then Wonder Woman.
Okay, so in my opinion, Suicide Squad at the bottom. Number 3 would be BVS.
Okay.
Number 2, at a very close to number 1, would be Wonder Woman. Okay. Man of Steel is still the best one.
Okay.
By far, dude. Man of Steel is...
And that works for me, because to me, like...
I just watched Man of Steel again the other day, and it's... I mean, like, I don't like throwing this out there, but I agree with a few people that call it a masterpiece. It really
I think it is
a masterpiece. I try and tell me something that's wrong with that movie. Besides, people want to...
Zack Snyder haters. Oh, he breaks. He kills.
Here we go.
He kills.
Leave the comments. He kills people.
He kills people. Fucking murderers. 9/11 times 10. It was an alien invasion, you dickheads. I'm calling you guys out, you fucking Zack Snyder hacks. Bitch ass. Anyway, we're running low on time, so the last thing I have to say is Gal Gadot. Oh, by the way, Zack Snyder cast Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, so there goes your Wonder Woman. He took place in that, so just throw that out there. But overall, I think she killed it as Wonder Woman. I want to see her in Justice League. I want to see her in another, sequel. They're talking about a sequel if this movie does good. So what do you?
It's going. I mean, it had a strong opening last night of 11 million for a Thursday night showing.
Yeah.
And it's now the highest grossing Thursday opening for a female director at 11 million. It's $100 million opening weekend. My call. I think it's gonna absolutely break 100 million.
We'll see. Well, it's his number 2 on his DCU list. It's my
and very close to number 1.
Yeah.
Like it's almost there, but those like I said, those little like Marvel things that will like hold it back. That's why I put Man of Steel at number 1.
Well, I don't know. It might shut off. We'll see.
So
it's still going. I think. Is it still going? I hope it is. Anyway.
This is what we do here. We don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
We just sit around. And
anyway, the last thing I have to add is like you should go see it. Definitely, it's a really good movie. I still disagree with a lot of people saying it's the best movie out there. That's not to say I didn't love the movie because I loved it, but
let's just say it definitely set a bar for female superhero films for sure. Like this is the standard.
Yeah.
Beat this.
Yeah.
Because this movie absolutely, it's still sitting at 93% on Rotten Tomatoes.
And guess what?
So.
DC also did the first female lead movie.
Yeah.
With
a
female director.
With over 100 minutes. It's a huge movie.
Yeah.
Everything about this was huge. So, and it nailed it. Home run.
Anyway, so go watch it. Let us know what you think in the comments for your little DC haters.
All the haters too.
Yeah, of course.
What's about Man of Steel? What you didn't like?
Of course they're gonna comment. I know it's been a while since we've done a video. We'll probably do another video talking about the last few movies, which was Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
We need to catch up. We might do that today. But all in all, just let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe.
Say hi.
Yeah, all that stuff. We'll try to keep up more on videos. It's been a little busy, but yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and this is Worlds Collide.
Thanks, guys. See you later.